Hey there, welcome back. Friends, today we will try to understand yet another synchronization type, which is synchronized block. Now, this code which is in front of us, this is nothing but the exact same program from our previous lecture, which was based on synchronized method. And if I execute this program, the output should be good enough and everything is working properly. Now friends, if we check this method generate properly, the whole and soul logic which is inside this method generate is generating this bracket sequence, and the whole and soul processing is taking place inside this method. This is the reason why making use of synchronized method approach is good in this scenario, because there is nothing else in this method which we want to skip from synchronization process. But there could be some scenarios where there are many more things which are there inside a method and we don't want to synchronize the complete method. Let me show you the time required to execute the threads. So inside this run method, what we will be doing is, in here we will be creating a long variable. For example, start time equals system dot current time in milliseconds. Alright, so we are creating a variable and initializing this, and after we are calling in the generate method for 5 times, we will again calculate the current time. Let me paste this statement, and this time the variable name would be like end time. And once we calculate both of these start time and end time, we will again print out the time required for this thread. So in here we will type in end time minus start time. Alright, so using this methodology we would be able to check how much time it is required for this thread to execute, and definitely this is a good way to check the efficiency. Let me do the same in the next thread as well. Alright, so now let me execute the program. Here we go. So time required for one thread to complete was 2 milliseconds, and for the other thread was 1 millisecond, which is cool, right? Now friends, in order to simulate the situation in a better manner, let me do one more thing. Inside this generate method, let me call in the sleep method for 10 milliseconds. So I will call in the thread.sleep method, and I will add in maybe 10 in here. And we need to also enclose this using try catch block. Now friends, if you guys are not able to understand what exactly I'm trying to do, don't worry, have a leap of faith on me and I will make my point in couple of minutes. As if now, to understand how I am trying to configure things, that will surely help you to understand the overall impact. Alright, so this looks good. Then moving forward, let us navigate in here. Inside this thread, let us calculate the total required time, but we will also add in a message. So time required for thread 1 was, so a pretty simple and decent message. Then we will add in a colon, and we need to enclose this operation in between pair of parentheses, so that we can identify that here is a string and here is a operation. So this would be good. Let me copy this statement real quick and paste it in here. Alright, now if I execute the program, then we will simulate the situation in a better manner. So the time required for thread 2 was 621 milliseconds, whereas thread 1 required 1032 milliseconds, which is good. Alright, so take a note of it, and if I roughly calculate how much time required to calculate or provide us the sequence of brackets, then it would be approximately 1800 milliseconds approximately, right? Which is the time required for this part where we want the synchronization. Alright, now friends, inside this generate method and outside this for loop, and definitely outside this calling in the system.out.println statement, we would be adding some other processing logic which will do some processing. It will simulate a processing scenario. So for doing that, let us add in a loop in here based on variable j. J equals 0, j is less than equals to 10, j plus plus, and inside this loop we will simply call in this particular thread.sleep method. So in here I will type in thread.sleep, and we will make it sleep for 25 milliseconds maybe, and we need to surround this with try catch definitely. Now friends, this particular loop doesn't affect on the bracket generation, right? So take a note of it. Now friends, if I execute this program, then the time required for these two threads to complete would be approximately 3800 milliseconds and 1900 milliseconds, right? And if we add these two, it would be like 5700 milliseconds, right? 38 plus 19. Let me type in this time, which is approximately 5700 milliseconds. Alright, let me rerun this program in order to show you the output. Let me also consider this time. Let me rerun this. Alright, so there are like different outputs, but the overall output which we are getting is approximately 1900 milliseconds and 3800 milliseconds. In order to make it a better reading, let us take the overall time required as 5750 milliseconds. Alright, so now we are making use of synchronized method approach. Alright, so now comes the most important part. Till now we were making use of synchronized method approach, and the time which is approximately required for executing both of these threads is 5750 milliseconds, which is the approximate value, right? Now friends, inside this generate method there are two for loops. So in this for loop, this particular part which is highlighted, this is responsible for generating your bracket sequence, and this particular bracket sequence needs to be inside a synchronized execution cycle, and that will give us a proper output. But the second for loop is doing some other processing, and if the second for loop is not in sync, then definitely that won't bother us. Now friends, whenever we mark some element as a synchronized element, then the time required for processing the data will go up. Why? Because when we are adding synchronized keyword, there would be a monitor lock which would be applied. As a result, multiple threads won't be able to execute that particular element simultaneously. And as the synchronized element won't be able to execute simultaneously, then definitely the time required to process the data will go up, right? So in here there are two parts. First part is responsible for bracket generation, and the second part is some other processing where the synchronized mechanism need not to be required. So we don't want this for loop to be synchronized, but we want this particular part to be synchronized. So in order to synchronize a specific part of the method or a specific part of a class, then definitely we can make use of synchronized block. So let me show you how we can do that. So we will make use of pair of braces. So here is the pair of braces, and we will get rid of the synchronized keyword from the method declaration itself, and we will mark this pair of braces as synchronized block. So I will type in synchronized, and we will make use of this, and it has added an extra pair of braces. Let me get rid of it. Now synchronized this means that synchronized this part of your block. We can also add synchronized based on a object, but we will talk about that later down the line. Now friends, this particular part which is highlighted right now is synchronized only, and the other for loop is not synchronized. Now let me execute this program once again. Now definitely we can see that the program is executing faster, and the time required for executing both of these threads was approximately 3950 milliseconds. If we add both of these, then it would be approximately 3950 milliseconds. So let me type in this in here, 3950. And as we can clearly see that the time required for executing both of these threads went drastically down. The reason is because now we are making use of synchronized block over synchronized method. Now friends, this is important to identify that where you need to use synchronized block and where you need to make use of synchronized method. If your whole and soul method needs to be synchronized, everything in the method is logical and the logical part needs to be synchronized, else there would be some issues, then definitely mark the whole method as synchronized. But if there is only part of the method which needs to be synchronized and our work should be done and everything should be working properly, then definitely you need to make use of synchronized block. So this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely this is something complex to understand, and this is the reason why I took a slightly different approach to explain this lecture. Hope you guys enjoyed it and understood the point I was trying to make. Thanks for watching.